Alright, easy peasy. You learned from, this elven man who runs this, the Witch's Wart, this magic shop, that, Zarin, or his name is Zarin, that, Bork is probably by the Driftwood Tavern. He mentioned that, you know, it's right at the end of the marketplace. You guys could probably go in around there. He's usually, like, hanging around up front, you know, maybe having a drink or, smoking a stogie or something. So, yeah, you know where the Driftwood Tavern is, Solrak, so if you wanted to lead the crew, you certainly can.
Sure. The Driftwood Tavern we go here!
Alright.
Well, while we're walking, I'm just keeping an eye out for, you know, purple cloaks or harper pins or anything like that.
Absolutely. You can make a, actually, we'll just use your passive, unless you're actively looking. You can do a perception check.
Yeah, I'm like keeping an eye with the intent of trying to find the circle. And...
Sure. Sorry, I think I might have to close out of above real quick and then reload it because there's like seems to be a little bit of a connection error. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Sorry, guys. Some of the like the health and the pictures weren't loading on my end.
Ah, gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, Solrak, as I mentioned, he knows where this area is, and so he starts leading you guys through the town. You guys are in the northwest district right now, which is called the Black Lake District, and it's only about a 5-minute walk to the tavern. Wilmore, you're kind of keeping an eye out for any harpers or any Zentarum as well. But yeah, as you're looking around, doesn't seem to be like anyone that kind of stands out to you as like part of a faction or like something to be worried about in general. You guys make that 5-minute trek down the path, and you guys make it to a the front of a tavern that Solrak knows and directs you guys to is the Driftwood Tavern. And this place, it's a single level tavern. Nothing too crazy going on here, but seems to have a bit more of a refinery than refined taste to it than the Beach Leviathan. As you are approaching, you see this blue-skinned orc man sitting out front with this massive kind of metallic backpack and these goggles on over his eyes. He's got these big sideburns that kind of poof out from the side, and a bun on his head with the rest of it kind of shaved, just kind of top knot right there at the end. He's got these tusks that kind of stick out from his bottom lip and hang over the top of his top lip. And you see he's got these like metal gloves on both his arms, kind of go all the way up his arms, all certain types of gadgets and gizmos and buttons and gears and things that you can twist. You see him, he's out front, he's kind of just puffing big on a stogie, just got these big puffs of smoke coming out of his mouth, and it was like big cough and clears his throat. And
I hear the coughing. I loudly say, "Hey, you know that stuff will kill you one day, huh?"
Yeah, kind of just like flicks the cherry a bit down, ashing the stogie, and looks up at you. "Did my mother send you or something? She used to tell me that all the time."
Yeah, where do you think she learned it from? And I wink.
See him kind of lift up his goggles, puts them back down over his face. "Well then, what brings you about these parts of town?"
"Well, Mr. Bork, I've been looking for you because I believe that you are the right guy for this job." I pulled out this little quill in my pocket. I hand it to him. "I traveled far and wide looking for you. You think you could do this?"
You hand him the piece of parchment with your note on it, and he looks at it, kind of extends it out, pulls out one of the goggle lenses to look at it, and looks back at you and says, "Well, who do you think I am? Certainly I could do this. All I need is a bit of time and a bit of gold."
I got a little bit of time and I got a little bit of gold. How much do you need?
For a job like this, and I'm assuming I'm going to be using those as well. And he points down to your wrist, your hands.
That is right.
So let's see. I'm using some material that's already there. It's I'd imagine I could probably tinker on this for 2 to 3 days and get it done for you. My normal rate. Let's see. Carry the 4. I could probably do 1,500 total.
1,500 total. Like the sounds of that. You got yourself a deal, my friend.
Okay, certainly. You guys are you gonna be sticking around Neverwinter for a little bit of time?
Just about as much time as I need to get this done here.
Okay,
After
certainly.
that,
I
lots of adventures.
you have lots of adventures.
That's right.
Well, not one to try to impede on anyone's style or their group, but if you have somewhere to go, I have no anchor holding me down here. I can certainly come along and build these on the go with you. I mean, where are you going? What's your destination?
That wouldn't be such a horrible idea, Solrak. I mean, at this rate, time is of the essence, and I feel as if we should be getting to our next destination rather quickly. I don't think 2 to 3 days of sticking around in Neverwinter would be the best idea, but that's just me. I don't know what you had in mind.
He's chewing on the stogie and like puff of smoke comes out again. Well, where exactly are you guys heading to next?
Solrak, I'll let you answer that.
Well, I feel like I haven't played this. Been around in a month, so I'm kind of forgetting.
So, please, listen, Bork. We're trying to get to Waterdeep. There's some things that we have to kind of take care of there, and then we have to make another trip over to Yartar.
Waterdeep,
again,
you say?
Yes.
Well, the City of Splendors. I'm sure there's plenty of opportunities for a artificer as myself, a man of inventions, to go down there and make a quick buck as well. Waterdeep sounds fun.
Well, do you know anything about the Harpers, Mr. Bork?
Not too much about the Harpers. I would say just enough that they are a group of well-meaning individuals who mostly spellcasters who collect and organize information in the most secretive kinds of ways to try to take down any evildoers and make sure that all is peaceful in the land.
I give him a very sly, but just good job, buddy.
That sounds like you know everything about them. What the hell are you talking about here?
I can't say I understand their full inner workings or things that go on behind the scenes, but I get the gist of it.
What if I told you, my friend, that these Harpers, a way that we can get to Waterdeep, just like that?
I would say I believe ya.
Well,
You're pretty smart there, Bork.
That's what they tell me.
well, Mr. Bork, in that case, if you'd like to come with us, I have no problem with it, but I have to warn you, we'll be facing many dangers, I'm sure.
Well, Waterdeep
with
is
that?
full of all sorts of things. I imagine I'd spend a little bit of time there and then venture off. I'm not sure if Yartar is up my speed, but if you guys want me to keep coming along with you, I have no qualms with that myself. But let's take it one step at a time there, eh, buddy?
Yeah, I like the way you walk the walk, sir.
Thank you,
Got my
thank
gold?
you.
I hand him 1,500 gold pieces.
Oh, payment up front. You're a rare
right.
breed, mister. I'm sorry.
Note if you try to run off, I will kill you.
I see the
No, but
fire
really,
in
I'm
your
gonna rip
eyes.
out your throat.
And on that blade, I surely believe that you have everything, all the power inside you to do just that.
What did Solrak give him again to make?
my gauntlets.
Oh, you're going. Yep, I got you.
Do you guys? I mean, Solrak said that to them. So,
Yeah, he pointed to my wrist.
yeah, but have
so
you? Okay.
You guys don't know what it is, though.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be cool.
Didn't you give him a quill or something? Did you say?
Yeah. What I needed him to do to him is written on the quill.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Now, Bork, where would be the closest Harper teleportation network?
Oh well, I'd imagine that they keep those quite secretive, so that most others can't find them, and
Well, I think. Do you know if there's anywhere around here where a Harper might, hang out in a fun area? And do you think there's any at this bar?
Well, not sure if there's any inside. We could poke around if you'd like, but there is, of course, the Arcanist Quarter, where the chasm is, I believe. If Harper were to live somewhere, it might be in an area such as one's place.
Well, you do know what they say about chasms.
Tell me.
I don't know what they say about chasms.
I just kind of tap him on the back and go, "Let's go."
I like him. He's birds of a feather. Let's go. They stink.
Tell me about it. They'll shit on you too.
Yeah.
While we're walking, does he have like the quill on him or like the piece of paper or anything on him?
Yeah, he tucked it away. Yeah,
Okay.
certainly.
Yeah, that's good.
But before you guys start walking away, he looks down at you, Solrak. Well, don't want to waste any time. Do you mind handing those over, buddy?
All right. Be careful with them. I want to break them. I take off my gauntlets. And I hand them over to him.
Looks at him, like holding them, observing them in his hands, and kind of looking at it with his glasses that he has. So, this is magnificent work, dwarven forged. Never seen metal as beautiful as this. It's certainly going to be a magnificent artifact to add to your equipment there. Let's go and let's see if we can find a friend that you're looking for.
Sounds good.
A Harper.
That would be fantastic. As we're kind of walking, I'm just gonna kind of poke and prod Bork. An artificer, you say? What kind of art do you do?
Oh, I do this, that, a rattle-a-tat. I do it all. If you hand me a task, something to create, I'm certain that if I put the wires together and put the pieces in place, I can figure it out. All problem solving is putting one step in front of the other and putting the pieces together.
Well, that is exceptionally non-descriptive.
Well, if I could make pretty much what I'm trying to say is I'm an inventor. I could make whatever I put my mind to truly. There is, of course, if I hire to do such things, a cost faction into that, but hey, that's the cost of doing business.
That is true. There is always a cost. I tell you what, my friend, when you're done, I want you to focus on what exactly was it that Solrak needed you to do? And I'm kind of like lagging back from the group as we have this conversation and getting less and less loud so he can't hear me.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't. I'm surprised that he didn't tell you what he was up to. He's got a magnificent plan here for his gauntlets.
Yeah, he may mention that plan, but he told me that you'd have to get the big grand surprise. But see, I'm actually getting him a nice little gift bag to put it in. So I just want to know what to write on the gift bag. What exactly is it that we're turning these bad boys into?
Well, you see, the plan that he has in mind here is to be able to take these and form a bond with his weapons, it appears.
He is a bonder. He's always been a good bonder. I'll tell you that, my friend. Well, that's great. So I tell you what, once you're done focusing in on that, I think I'm gonna start tossing my sending stone that I have. I may have a job for you too if you're gonna tag along.
Sure, I could certainly. What did you have in mind?
Well, you see, I have one sending stone here that is just, it's useless because, hold on a second. Harshy, you there? I'm going to say that into it. Listen.
Silence.
Well, the other end is kind of destroyed. So I was wondering if there's some way that maybe we can recalibrate, reconfigure, or recombobulate, if you will, to get me some more lines of communication around this here town.
I've never considered such a thing before, but I don't see it an impossible task to complete. Just making a mold of your sending stone with the proper arcane rune inscribed on it, and casting this mold with its own magical stone. I'm sure we could possibly create a duplicate of the sending stone to create another one that can go into this connection. Yeah, I do believe that is something that I could probably figure out.
Well, I think once you do the deed with Soul Rack, maybe there's a little bit more gold in this group for you, my friend.
That Bork is a man of inventions. If you want something invented, come to me, and that's my job. I'm here to do it.
I do like a good man. Tap you on the back and keep walking.
Tap him on the back, and you hit his like metal backpack, and all of a sudden you hear this gear starts spinning wildly, and this light starts shining bright off the side of it.
What the hell is that here?
I seem to have turned him on, everybody.
Yep. He's activated the arcane torches. He goes and hits the button on there, and you just hear the it starts powering down, and the lights start dimming off the sides of it.
What the hell does that do?
Oh, it's sometimes you're in a bit of a dark situations, and you need to be illuminated. Sometimes it's not good enough to just be holding a torch out in front of you. You have your back all illuminated around you, and I have this puppy, goes about 30 feet all around in a bright light, and probably another 30 feet past that.
It does look pretty cool, but isn't the fact that it's so noisy, it kind of...
It's a work in progress. It probably just needs a little bit of grease, a little bit of oil, some D20 WD-40, you know.
Yeah, you know. Just make my gauntlets noisy like that, huh? Say.
I will certainly try. You guys have made your way through Neverwinter a decent amount now. Made your way to like the lower east side. Where you guys pass by the large chasm in the earth, where you guys see a couple of Gord's Alliance members, who you presume to be at least, just kind of a standing guard, people like in different spotted areas, littered along the edge of this this giant pit that just kind of leads into the earth. And you guys kind of like walk by it, and you see it's just like it's just this endless, bottomless pit that just is cracked into the earth right there, and every now and then there's like it looks like maybe something floats out of it, like a tentacle or a something flying, but it doesn't seem to, not things that are coming out and like being attacking or anything, but just like these wild abominations that just kind of like spawn out of it and kind of collapse back down. I'm gonna send a picture real quick too. Just so you guys, like, this is like kind of the district you guys are in right now. With the picture I just sent to the game log. And as you guys are passing by this area and then seeing all this like happening, you are passed by this row of like townhouses near the edge of it, which would be like in that southern part of that picture, like the central southern part. And yeah, there's a few of these houses that just kind of litter throughout there. And Wilmore's been kind of looking around a bit, right, for any sort of Harper or Zentarum and everything. And you guys don't seem to notice this at all, but as Wilmer's walking, inscribed on the ground in the stone on the ground there's a very worn out symbol of a harp inscribed on the ground in front of this one townhouse.
So as we're walking by, I just kind of slow down, like walk by it and lock my eyes on it until I turn my head completely all the way around, and then I turn around and just start walking back to it and say, "Gentlemen, I got a good feeling about this one." And I would go up and just kind of knock on the door.
Okay. Did anything happen?
Sorry, I was muted. After waiting around just a little bit of time, after that knock on the door, you hear a couple footsteps, but they don't seem to be coming and approaching the door downstairs. After you guys have just waited for like 3 minutes. It sounds like they're like scuffling about on the second level, on this 3-level building.
I look over at Chattington. Excuse me, Wilmore. May I, please?
You can surely give it a shot, but
He's gonna
they
make a scene.
may not want a scene, though.
Don't worry. I got this, you guys. Sometimes gotta, use a little diplomacy, tact. So that's where I come in. Don't forget, I was supposed to be king, right? So, come on.
And as you guys are down here also, you can see there's 2 windows in the front. You can probably see on the bottom of the screen there. So you can see through those windows as well if you were to like look through and into the building.
So then I shoo them off over to the right-hand side, and then I go over to the side to like where the window is, and I just stand there, and I loudly bang against the wall next to the window.
Hey! Hey, you! We're knocking out here! How are you here?
God.
Solarak starts being loud and obnoxious as much as he possibly can. And suddenly you hear those footsteps once more on that second level, start shuffling down some stairs, running down quite quickly.
They see.
And down these stairs, you guys can see this this woman mage who comes running down, looking out the window, a little bit confused and nervous. She's kind of holding tightly in her one hand a wand. She slowly answers the door and just cracks it open. Hello? Can I help you?
Why, yes, absolutely. And as she's walking down, I cast Prestidigitation, and I make like a nice deep purple like bolo tie, just kind of sitting on around my neck, like I'm a weird looking. I guess they don't have cowboys here. Just something that they've actually never seen. It probably doesn't exist in this world.
Does now.
And I go, why, yes, my lady. You see, I don't know if you heard, and I point at Solrak, but we were knocking. Did you by chance hear that?
Yeah, I did hear that. I mean, I heard the yelling too. I'm sorry, were you guys out here for a while? I'm sorry, I've been upstairs.
I understand. I mean, we were only out here for about 3 or 4 minutes, but you know it. I'm just kind of like spinning my finger around the 2 uneven tassels of my bolo tie. But you know what they say about chasms. Just look at her.
I'm sorry. Are you a watcher? Are you a Harper agent?
Why,
I wanted to know what they say about chasms.
Why, yes, I am a Harper agent. I just completely ignore him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being so rude to you all. Please come on in. My home is your home. Welcome. She kind of just opens up the door. She's a little bit awkward as she like does it and like pushes the door open. She's not quite sure who you guys all are. She sees you, of course, being a Harper, but she kind of just like pushes the door open. Come on in, please. I was just upstairs reading and taking notes. I'm sorry. What was your name?
Well, I look around. Wilmore Chattington.
You see her
Probably
eyes
heard
go
of
wide.
me.
Yes, you're Wilmore Chattington?
Yes.
Oh my god. Zaspar, he told me about you all. The Wrecking Crew, right?
Good old
Okay.
Zazzy.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
always been a fan.
That's why I'm up. Come with me. That's why I'm upstairs reading and looking at all these books. He told me about you guys. You guys are trying to bring peace to the land by trying to resolving this giant problem that we have here.
When we heard the scuffling upstairs, was it more than 2 feet?
Make an investigation roll.
And I wanted to actually smell to see if I smell someone else in the house.
Perception with advantage. Fang, what are you thinking?
I whisper to Solrak, so the girls around here must be into bolo ties, huh?
19. No, it sounded like it was the one set of feet running around up there, and kind of light-footed like hers.
I look over at Fang and I say, admit, this looks kind of cool in it.
I think it would go great with my monistic clothing.
Alright, maybe we could become the Bolo Club. That'd be badass.
And if we could come to a general consensus, I think that's a motion for a new gang name.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
I look over to them, hearing them do this, and I press the digitation. 2 bolo ties around each of their necks.
Whoa!
Solrax
I'm ready
is
to hit the
green
town.
and Fangs is red.
I look over at Solrak and like I start to kind of adjust it just to make sure it's like perfectly unevenly even. Yeah, fantastic, Solrak. We look tremendous. Same goes for you, Chattington.
I mean, maybe we find a tailor. But anyway, my dear Harper friend again, I'm just fingering my bolo.
The name is Sandy's Thunderquill.
Sandy's the Thunderquill. Are you a
Sandy.
writer by chance?
Now the Thunderquill is actually my given last name, my birth name.
Oh. So I thought maybe the family was a Quill of Thunders, but I understand that. Could you? Whoa, weren't we heading upstairs to see what good old Zazzy mentioned?
Let's walk and talk, certainly. And she kind of starts leading you guys up through the stairs and takes you up to the second level. As you guys follow up behind her, you guys go up to the next level, see that it's like dimly lit in here with candles and it's just books littered everywhere. She's got shelves of books all throughout the second floor here, and there's just books strewn and thrown everywhere. Pages open in certain places. You see scribblings and writings on different pages and markings and just things that she's like highlighted and pointed out. And as she's bringing you guys up here, she's like, yeah, as I mentioned, the Harpers, we can't express our gratitude enough to you all, the Wrecking Crew, for everything you guys are trying to accomplish on your adventures. And I mean, Zaspar mentioned that you guys had some encounters with the Zentarum and some drow on his airship, and he asked me if I could kind of look over some of my scribes and books inside here and see if I can figure out any knowledge or information as well.
Yes, I remember encountering the Zentarum on the airship. I do remember one of them falling off, if you know what I mean.
Zaspar mentioned that you guys were quite powerful in your combat abilities, and that even the drow, they sent a horrible creature called the Yakul after you all, and you guys were even able to disintegrate and just destroy that beast too.
And that was even before we got these cool ass ties. Imagine what we can do now.
It's really sometimes we're undervalued by the Zentarum, but what exactly have you been able to look into with this group? You know, they were all of the creatures were tainted with this lovely Ducium. Reaching in my satchel to pull some out.
Yeah, I've seen you've done quite some reading. There's got to be something that you've learned.
I'm trying to piece together all I can, but yeah, I was taught about this Ducium. Zaspar mentioned it, and nothing in these books seems to describe anything of those likes or that sort. Um, it's hard to piece together anything of that liking, but there were other things with the Zentarum and the Drow that I had in mind after doing some reading. Do you all think it's possible? I mean, with the Zentarum being the sort of faction that they are, trying to take over power and um, place themselves in places where they shouldn't mess around in, and of course the Drow being the Underdark dwellers that they are, and how evil and vicious they are, even to their own kind. Do you think it's possible that they're both working under Narvi? I mean, it just seems too much of a coincidence that both of these attacks happened on the airship.
Narvi definitely seems like he's behind all of this, and whatever they have planned, it's definitely not good, and we must stop it.
Why would you think that they wouldn't fall in line under good old Narvi?
What do you mean?
If
They think that they're working together.
yeah, so why do you think that they wouldn't work together? Because I mean, personally, I think Narvi takes all evils together, my friend.
I'm going to agree with you on that. I think you are on the right trail. It's hard to, like I said, the Drow, they are a hateful race, and
I guess my question is, why do you think the Drow would work with them? 'Cause I agree, but what could cause them to work with them?
well,
The Ducium?
that's a possible link, but there was another thing with the Drow that popped up recently that I wanted to run by you all as well. Gauntlgrim, the legendary dwarven forge not too far from here, right in Neverwinter Wood, they fired up their forges forever with the ancient fire primordial known as Megara. And recently, Megara, this ancient fire primordial, has gone missing, has been stolen. And the Harpers, we believe that, because no one saw this great titan be stolen from the forges, you would imagine on the surface you would see such a thing, right? It's my personal belief that the Drow have some sort of underdark passageways to Gauntlgrim, because Gauntlgrim is an underground forge. It's my belief that the Drow possibly could have found their way to the forge and stolen Megara somehow.
Do you think that underground passage with the Drow could potentially go far out west past Yontar?
Well,
to the Iron Slag?
Far east to Yartar, sure. It's a possibility. There's no known mappings of the Underdark, at least none in the text that I've been able to find in here. But it's vast and massive undergrounds. Imagine a whole other world, a surface world, but underneath the surface. It's a very extreme possibility.
Yeah, and I imagine they would at least have a passageway from Gauntlgrim to Waterdeep, which is where we've had the run-ins with the Zentarum.
Well, I bet you dollar to donuts they're going to be using this here fire primordial to fire up the Iron Slag to help with Vonendar.
I think you're certainly right about that.
Do you know if there's any weaknesses of this here? What was the name of the fire primordial again?
It's Megara, but it's an ancient titan, and I'm surprised it was captured in this forge for centuries, for forever. For someone to have to steal that would take an amazing magic that, once again, the Drow could harness such things with the powers of Loth, the Spider Queen. It's hard to say exactly how. Perhaps
Sandy's. I assure you, Narvi could do that.
It doesn't seem out of his realm of possibilities. That's for certain. But you mentioned the fire giants. There's another recent attack with the fire giants nearby as well. Not quite nearby here, but not quite far either. Tribor, which is right off the Tribor Trail, obviously, between the it's pretty much between Phandalin and Yartar, was destroyed, and it seems like the fire giants were able to reclaim some parts of Vonendad from the area.
We've got to move fast, guys.
Goddamn fire giants. Let's kill them all.
I think we need to move east and cut them off at the Iron Slag, gentlemen, or do we try to take their stronghold? I guess that's up to you.
I feel like stopping them first would be the best move. Once they're weakened, perhaps take the stronghold. I feel like if we cut to the stronghold now, any innocent people will die here.
Yeah, go on, Fang.
It almost sounds like to me that Narvi and the rest of Xantarum may have possibly figured out how to harness the power of this Dusium by taking Megara. I mean, how else do you think they would have been able to take it?
I do not know.
Well, I will say there are some ways. There's you could do a magical flask that could possibly hold it, or a dimensional door of sorts. There's all sorts of magical things that could possibly capture something like that, or even putting it under some sort of charm or a spell as that as well, which again is not beyond the capabilities of the Drow. But what I was going to mention is that stopping the fire giants possibly won't stop it all, or at least not them from creating Vonendad, because you're not going to stop all of the fire giants, but you can destroy the forge that they need to create Vonendad, at least.
Gotcha. I think that makes sense. Yeah, we have to take on the forge. That's the only way. The pieces are moving, and hopefully Phandalin was able to secure the last piece for as long as they could, but I think we need to take out the forge, gentlemen. Sandy's, I'm well aware of the teleportation circles. We need to find our way to Waterdeep and then out east. Can you assist with that?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, Wilmer, you have full access of our network circle system. The one that we have in Neverwinter is just right upstairs. If you guys are ready to go, we can certainly do that. But there was one other book that I saw here that, after Zasfar told me about you all, it caught my eye, and the more I read, the more I was intrigued. It's strange, and she goes to pull around the books and tries to find it real quick, and she goes around and looks inside the piles of books and finds this one book that's bound in this green leather. You guys can see this picture, right? In the game log, with leaves and vines that are kind of carefully burned into it, and like all around the corners and the back and the front of it and whatnot. It's got this beautiful gold embossed script on the front of it. It says The Curious Tale of Wisteria Vale. There's no author attributed to it anywhere or anything. It's about 6 inches wide, 9 inches tall, inch thick.
That's what she said.
It's thick and cream colored. The pages, that is, and they emit a faint scent of like flowers and grass as she kind of picks it up and brings it over towards you all. Kind of flipping through the pages in front of you, you guys can see that the writing is kind of neat and steady. Each line, obviously, written in this beautifully practiced calligraphy. She says, this book, it's, I found a few strange parallels in it, connections, I have to say.
What?
Do go on.
Just give me one moment. I want to make sure I don't forget anything.
As I said, do go on. I cast guidance on her to help her.
Thank you. You see, as I was reading through this, I noticed a bunch of, as I mentioned, strange parallels, including the appearance of a evil wizard who wears red. There is a halfling bard Harper, who's the protagonist of the story. He's the main character. There's a character. The main character, his village was burned down, and Zaspar mentioned that Fang, I apologize, but your village growing up was destroyed and burnt down, and in the book it ends with a quest for vengeance and taking down an evil lord. And she kind of looks at Solrak. Doesn't say anything though. And
hey, may we? Oh, go on.
No, it just seems strange. It's a very well written play. It's a playwright actually. Script here, but just the similarities with after Zaspar told us all about the Wrecking Crew and a little bit behind the scenes of what you guys have going on. It just these parallels and these connections just seem too. What do they say? There's no such thing as coincidence, right?
Something like that. Do you?
How old is this book, there, Sandys?
It's at least. We're not sure. There's no date attributed to it. There's not an author attributed to it. It's at least a decade old, but it could be much older.
Do you think you'd be willing to part ways with this book?
I was actually hoping that you would ask that. I feel like there's probably more that you can unveil from this that I can't, because I can only. I'm an outsider looking in.
I take out and I just kind of like grab the book and I just start flipping through it and I go, "How does it end?" I just look at her.
Fang, make a wisdom check, and you can also, or you can make an intelligence, whichever's higher for you, or like investigation if that's like what you're trying to do.
Nat 1.
Nat 1. Oof.
11.
No, go ahead and do investigation roll instead.
For me.
17. Okay. So I'm sorry. You asked her, how does it end?
No, you know what? I asked her. Are there any other characters?
Yeah, there's the main character's name is Vargan in the story, and then the evil lord that destroyed his village and his family and his farm and everything was Lord Rathmore. But there's no other like main characters.
How does it end?
Well, essentially, Vargan, main character, the Harper bard, he becomes very powerful. He uses his talents and magic and espionage to take down corrupt kings and mages. And he became a legend among the Harpers and outside of the Harpers. And Vargan, he stays humble and believing that it's his duty to protect others. And Vargan then battles an archmage who was turned evil by an ancient crystal, touched by the evil god Cyric, the god of lies and trickery and murder and strife. And though Vargan does defeat this archmage, prolonged contact with this crystal, it corrupts his mind and his being, his essence. And it just convinces his allies that he's too powerful and he must be eliminated as well. And the only possible solution that they could have for him without hurting him or hurting anyone was to banish him to a demiplane of his own.
Whoa.
Well, that does sound like a good read.
The first two parts, that's the third part. The first two parts are just as great as well.
Well,
I
guess we
do.
got some reading material.
I try and snatch the book out of Wilmore's hand.
I have oddly strong grip.
You guys can make contested strength or dex checks against each other.
I've heard the noises that come from Wilmore's room at night. I believe he has a strong grip.
I'll do dex check.
A dexterous check? Yes, he can't use both hands.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There you go. There you go. What you got? What do you got?
Point 3, baby!
Oh, you dick.
Thanks. Snatched it out of your hand.
Guidance on myself.
Too late. Too late.
And I throw it in my backpack real quick. I'll be holding on to this, buddy. Yeah.
As soon as he does that,
There, here we go.
I cast suggestion. Hey, give me that back. 15 wisdom
save, yeah.
Hope he gets it.
Here's the book back, Chattington. I don't know what I was thinking.
Right into the bag of holding.
I'm sorry.
I love it.
I look at Sandy's. I ignore them. They do this all the time.
Is there a is it just an inventory item just to add, or is it an item?
Nah, it's just, yeah. The
Okay,
Curious Tale of Wisteria Vale. Fang, as Wilmore says the title one more time, make one more wisdom check. He says the name again as he looks at it and pulls it aside, and this flash of memory just sparks off in your brain for a moment. You've heard that name before, Wisteria Vale. Wisteria Vale. Wisteria Vale. It was the name of a village in the Icefire Mountains, just north of Citadel Adbar. It is similar to Heartsvale, your settlement, your village, and you know that it was destroyed over a decade ago as well.
Gents, I think I'm, after Chattington had mentioned the name of the, that book, things kind of started to click in my head. This was Wisteria Vale was the name of a small village, or small town, not too far from where I used to grow up in the Ice Spires. While granted, it was destroyed, I'm wondering if that might have any sort of significance to the fire giants and their forge. I think we need to get over there as soon as possible. But first things first, Sandys, can you please point us in the direction of the Harper's teleportation network, please? We've got to get a move on at this point.
It's right, absolutely. I'll take you guys right upstairs and I'll practice the arcane words that need to be chanted to get you guys teleported. And she leads you guys up through the stairs.
As we walk up the stairs, I whisper to Fang,
How was it destroyed?
I imagine it was destroyed by the fire giants when they came through our village and just destroyed everything.
Bastards. Pay for that.
So you guys make your way upstairs, following Sandice up there, and she has a bunch of candles. Like most of them are mostly burnt down. Wax kind of like folding down the sides of them and spreading down to the ground around them, kind of stuck to the ground where they are. And all of them blue, purple, white, gold. All these very kind of like regal, optimistic kind of colors. And she kind of stands off to the side and gestures to you. Well, if you're all in a rush, go on in there, and I'll get a move on things here.
Thank you again for everything, Sandys.
Absolutely. And if you are going to see Kolbaz in Yartar, he, I'm sure he will give you a little bit more information as well with the questions you all have at hand. I'm sorry I couldn't. This Ducium it's a real head scratcher for me. I'm very unsure about this. It's nothing that we were ever taught about or learned about or anything I can find in any of these books anywhere.
Again, thank you for everything. You've been extremely helpful, and I'm sure Kolbaz will be able to help us, or at least guide us in the correct direction.
And thank you for your due diligence towards the calls, my friend.
Absolutely. You all it's been an honor to meet the Wrecking Crew in flesh. As I said, Zazbar, he said so many great things about you all. He couldn't speak highly enough about you all and how brave and heroic you are, and just the quest that you all are on endlessly to make sure that us here in Faerun and Sword Coast, we can live our lives in peace and not have to worry about this shattered ordning and giants and these evils, like people like Narvi or the Zentarum and the Drow. It's people like you who make life a little bit easier to live and not have to worry about looking over your shoulder every second of every day. So us here at the Harpers, we can't thank you all enough.
Gratitude makes Solrak just feel humbled inside, and he doesn't say much, but that he affirms everything that he's doing and his need to fight for justice to help those that need it. So he just nods to her. Those words really hit him.
And as soon as those words are kind of just like sinking into you, you see her pick up her wand and start twinkling her fingers, and this like pixie, like dust-looking ethereal mist starts pouring up out of it and starts swirling into the circle surrounding you guys, and this blue light just emits surrounding you guys in this pillar, and in an instant, you guys are transported to that Harper Circle in Waterdeep, and you guys see Thestral Mulardin pulling some books off the shelves as well, and she's got her Tressum, the winged cat, walking along the tops of the bookshelves, high arched back, just kind of working her way across, and then notices you guys all come on in, and takes flight down off the bookshelf, and looks first at Sanity, quite questionably. You know, bird-cat action here going on, but doesn't seem to bother it, knowing that it's a spectral phenomena. It's this
Sanity meows at her.
And the Tressum looks back at Sanity, and wide-eyed and not quite sure what that was about, flies up to meet Sanity eye to eye, kind of checking her all out. Meow. Right back to her, and then flies back down to the ground, and yeah, Thestral sees you guys all there. But I know, like, we were trying to keep this just an hour today, essentially, so, I mean, do you guys want to pick it up here the next time?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Cool. I tried to skid in there as much as I possibly could, guys.
That was awesome. That was excellent.
Slid right in underneath.
Cool. Well, awesome, guys. I'm sorry for those of you watching out there. Let's see, all 5 of you. I apologize that this is a little bit of a short one tonight, but we are going to be back. We're going to do Friday this week or Thursday? Is that what?
Okay. I'm down for Friday if we can, because Thursday I have a show.
True. So we'll do a short one on Friday again, and I think we're going to go back to our regular schedule this Sunday for a full one. Back at it, guys. Again, appreciate you guys jumping on in here, playing with us for the short one. Let's hop in the Discord and talk a little bit more about what's going on here. I feel like you guys there's a lot fresh on your mind, I'm sure, with what everything Sandy's just told you. And so, yeah, we'll talk about that in the Discord. That said, catch you guys on the weekend, take a nice short rest, and look out for those goblins under the stairs. Peace out, guys. Take it easy.
Later.